Good morning, adventurers.
Good morning.
And welcome to one of our all-time favorite cities here in Mexico, Merida. What? Oh no, it's okay. It's a video. Yeah, but thank you though. Oh, it's okay. It's good from this perspective. Yeah. It's funny. Every time I'm holding the camera like this, people are like, "Can I take a photo? Do you need my help?" I always have to be like, "No, it's
very sweet." But
okay. Anyway, today we're exploring Merida. Let's do it.
Is known for its incredibly rich history, rooted in its Mayan past. It's filled with all of these incredibly beautiful buildings.
It's also got so many street food stalls and different markets with delicious foods that are from right here in the Yucatan.
Today we're going to be exploring as much of the city as we can, and most importantly, exploring some of the local markets and eating tons of local food.
Oh yeah. Man, it just feels so good to be back out traveling again, eating delicious food that's not American food.
I know, it's wild. I thought maybe it would feel pretty different. Y'all, it's been 2 years since we were in some warm climate, some tropical destination.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting the hang of it. I think it kind of feels like home back on the road.
Oh yeah. If you guys caught our last video, we arrived in Mexico and we met up with our friends, Nikita and Karina. We haven't seen them in forever.
It's been years.
Yeah, but they're actually gonna be meeting up with us in just a bit and we're gonna go to our breakfast spot. All right, enough talking. Let's go eat. Allison's been chauffeuring us all over the town. How do you find driving in Merida?
It actually has not been so bad. At first I was a little scared. There's a lot of scooters and people don't love using signals. But I've learned the ways. If you just go slowly and you keep an eye out, it's actually pretty easy.
Our first stop is Parque Santa Ana, which is Santa Ana Park. It's this square that has a bunch of different shops all around it, and we heard that it's an excellent place specifically for family breakfast.
Family breakfast. We got a family and we are in desperate need of breakfast, so win-win, right?
Yeah.
Fresh juice, I can't get enough of it when we're in Mexico. They just have the freshest fruits and stuff and they just make them on the spot. I got strawberry orange juice. It just tastes like a liquefied strawberry. I said that into my straw.
Yeah. The square is lined with all these little shops and it's so funny. Right when you walk in, they're just like, "Hey, amigo, come here. Oh, amigo, come here." I think they're all pretty chummy about it, but they're definitely competing hardcore for business. It's funny to just sit here and watch all the locals, tourists alike walk in here and they just hound them to try to get them to eat at their stall. But they have tons of local dishes here, so you have a lot of stuff to choose from. But the dish that I was looking to try is huevos motuleños. Is this friggin' beautiful or what, you guys? It's basically a dish from the northern Yucatan city of Motul. That's where it was invented. So we have some corn tortillas, and then they have eggs on each one of them. We've got some cheese on there. They sprinkle a little bit of ham on there and some peas, which I thought was very unique and a little strange.
I don't know that we've ever had peas for breakfast.
Yeah, it's not usually a thing we get down on, but hey, when in the Yucatan, I guess. I feel like I want to eat it with my hands, but I also don't. So.
I advised him against it.
Hold on.
Sorry if I shake the table. I'm spilling the juice.
Juice.
Spilling the beans. I mean, the juice.
Holy cow. Is that too big of a bite? Nah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna take a bite of that.
No, was it too big?
Yes.
For what it's worth, it's delicious. Some potential customers just showed up, so they're swarming them. There's only like 8 guys right now trying to get them. They're crazy. So obviously the crunch is awesome. The eggs are just nice and warm and perfectly fresh and fried. I love the red sauce that gives it this like burst of flavor, and it masks the pea flavor because I'm not a huge fan of peas, so that's always good. But it is an awesome breakfast to start our awesome adventure here in Merida.
My dish is a little more simple. It's papadzules. Papadzules.
Is she saying that right, Karina?
Papadzules.
Papadzules.
Sure. Papadzules. I guess it's just tortillas dipped in a pumpkin seed sauce with tomatoes and then a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. But they say it's a very ancient dish and even predates enchiladas, even though it looks a lot like an enchilada. Another thing I've never had for breakfast, pumpkin sauce with hard-boiled eggs. Ooh, this pumpkin seed cream down in here is really interesting. It's almost like a peanut buttery taste or something, or like a nut butter. And then the tomato sauce must have some chilies in it, not necessarily spicy, but it gives it a really nice, robust flavor. The more I eat it, the more I'm intrigued.
This square is much more low-key than some of the other ones that you'll find here in Merida. It's just surrounded by all these locals going about their day, and right in the middle of it is this big, beautiful yellow building, which is the Santa Ana Parish. But we are about to head to a much bigger plaza. In fact, it's called the Plaza Grande. Let's do it. This is the Plaza Grande. It is much more grande than the previous plaza we were at. It sits right in the historic center of the city. It's right next to the massive San Ildefonso Cathedral. The city began in around the year 1542. So it's very, very old. Merida was actually built on the old ruins of an ancient Mayan city. In fact, I actually read that many of the early buildings in the city center were built with the stones from the old Mayan ruins. I don't know if many of those are left. I did hear that maybe some of the stones in the church back there are still made from old Mayan ruins, but I don't have any evidence to back me up except an article I found online. So feel free to verify that one if you can. We made our way to the Crafts Bazaar, which is just like on the corner of the Plaza Grande. I guess it's just a place that has a couple food stalls, but mostly it has just like clothing and little trinkets and all kinds of goofy things like that. We did hear from some local, he tried to tell us that all this stuff is made in China.
Yeah, that it's not local products at all.
So we're not sure how authentico it is, but it still looks pretty cool.
And it's covered and there are fans in here, so we're out of the heat. I'm not that upset about it.
Yeah, these guys are heading out.
Yeah, it's
See you later, buddy.
Adios,
How cute is his hat, by the way? Did you have a fun day exploring the city?
Yes, yes I did.
So I'm gonna eat you, adventurers. Ah.
Bye. See ya. In Merida, you're gonna find restrooms all over the street, which I think is friggin' awesome. Because sometimes you just gotta go, you know? Like me right now, I really gotta go. You do have to pay for them. Usually it's very cheap, and they also usually say the price. This one is 6 pesos, which is like a quarter or something like that, right? There's usually an attendant too, so you just give them your money, and then you go do your business. So there you have it.
All right, have fun, bye.
Done. All right, anyway, that's using the restroom in Merida. Onward.
We've been out exploring, seeing the city, and we have worked up an appetite, so we are on the hunt for lunch. Somebody recommended Mercado de... Oh, I just had it.
Oops, you gotta look at the notes.
Mercado Lucas de Galvez,
yes,
which I believe is right here. There's not really a sign, but it's pinpointed on the map. But it should be a big market inside with a lot of fruits and veggies and goods, and hopefully some stalls for us to eat at.
Yes. And as usual, we're going to be linking to everything we're doing today in the description below, so you can recreate our awesome day here in Merida.
Very awesome, a little sweaty day
Okay.
in Merida.
This market has it all, you guys. It's got food, it's got tons of fresh produce, and over in this corner, there's all these different wares and like restaurant supplies and knives and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is where they're stocking all the restaurants.
I guess so, either that or where they torture people, because y'all, there are a lot of machetes over here.
There are. I tried to ask them in Spanish if I could take a photo, and now they're all laughing at me, so I don't think I said it right. I think I'm just gonna stick to English. We found this little stall where they're making tortillas, and it's really cool to watch. They take this giant glob of flour, put it on the top of the machine, and then I guess it smushes it out, and then you can see these circular discs that kind of punch out each tortilla. Then they roll down the conveyor belt, and then this fine lady stacks them all up, and then they sell them. Circle of life right there.
We explored, I think, all of that market and finally found all the food stalls on the outskirts. And
is this market huge though?
Oh my god, I think we got lost a few times, but you think it's done and then a whole other huge room opens up. It's pretty wild. So I was on the hunt for cochinita pibil, which is another local dish. It is slow roasted pig in this pepper sauce. I think that's what I ended up getting. I definitely got cochinita, the pig. I don't know if the sauce is correct, and they put it in a burrito.
We got some bumping music for this meal.
This is wild. And they're doing the exact same thing they did at our breakfast market. They're just trying to get you in. Everybody's like, come, 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 sit here. And they're just like yelling out all the names of the food they're selling. Enough stalling and talking. Let's get this cochinita. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe I just got roasted pork, maybe? I don't really see much of a sauce in here, but that's okay. See, this is an appropriate size bite, Eric. It's big, but not too big. Holy moly, are there a lot of flavors going on in here. It's got the sour cream, and I think it's got cheese inside as well. It's just very creamy, very delicious. The pork is nice and citrusy, flavorful and salty, and you can tell it was like roasted perfectly. I like this so much better than my breakfast dish.
Also, I mean, the atmosphere is just crazy. We're just in the middle of all this chaos. These guys are trying so hard to get everyone to go to their restaurant. Man, I missed this. Did you miss this?
I did. I didn't realize how much I missed it. We've lived such a quiet life for the past couple years. It's just so fun to be out and about and everything's bumping and chaos, but just awesome.
I got al pastor, which is this just delicious pork that they're actually doing on a giant roasting spit over there. The flavors on this are incredible. It's just so salty and savory and delicious, but the tortilla is so doughy and a little bit sweet, and then they have this slightly sweet cream on the top. Look back here, there's like 50 different restaurants here. I don't even know which one is which. But I think that this one is El Rey del Trompo. We're gonna put a precise pinpoint. Did I just throw al pastor at you?
You did.
We're gonna put a precise pinpoint to this place in the description below so you can come here, but if you do, get the al pastor, baby. Next up, we've come about 30 minutes north of Merida to see some incredible Mayan ruins. These ones are the ruins at Dzibilchaltun. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's very fun to say. But there are a lot of ruins in the area, in the Yucatan in general. We've been to Chichen Itza, which are some very popular, well-known ones. We've been to the ruins at Tulum. These ones are much different. They're much more low-key. There's barely anybody here. The ruins are all kind of small, spread out, and you can just kind of walk amongst it yourself and just discover it as you go. They also have guided tours if you fancy that. There are a couple things to be aware of, though. It costs 100 pesos more for non-Mexican citizens, so it's 250 total per person. And they also have a nice little trick where you park at the parking lot. They don't have any signs about what's allowed in or not, and then you walk about a quarter mile to the front, and then they say, oh, no backpacks, rent a locker and store your backpack. So we ended up doing that because we didn't want to walk back to the car.
But a nice trick is, women, if you have a small backpack, you get to keep yours.
Yes, and that is why Allison has a backpack right now.
Ta-da!
I didn't really understand it, but I said, okay, gracias.
So we just took everything from Eric's bag and put it in my bag. The most famous structure at this site is located at the other end and is called the Temple of the Seven Dolls because they found 7 little dolls in the temple.
Yeah, which I think are in the museum, but of course, because of COVID, the museum's closed.
The museum is closed. But that's okay. If you look online, you can see photos of it, but there are these horribly disfigured little dolls that they found in there. What's even more interesting about the temple, though, is that it's actually 3 temples in one. So originally, there was a small temple built in 300 BC, and then in 500 AD, another temple was built over it, which is the temple that you'll see here today. And then even later on, there was a 3rd temple built on top of that. So they kept, I guess, filling in the previous temples with rocks, building it bigger and better. But it's really neat to be over there and just kind of imagine what this whole pyramid has gone through the centuries, and to be able to see so much of it still to this day.
Yo, we found some like huge hornet's nest or something inside of these ruins. There's like 20 of them back in this little area.
Either they've all been destroyed or we just lucked out that it's winter time and they're not in here, but oh my word, you would die if you walked down there. It's like a gauntlet of bees.
La la ya, la ya, la ya, la la la, la ya, la ya.
These particular ruins come complete with their own cenote. And this is a very special cenote because, as you can see, it is basically like a huge open pool, but it's covered with all these little lily pads. Are those lily pads? Is that what you call them?
Yeah, lily pads.
Yeah, lily pads, but there's a ton of them. Sadly, like a lot of things in the world right now, it's closed. And I heard that it was partly due to COVID, but then someone also said that it had to do with just contamination in the water because, you know, tourists come and they get in these cenotes, and I guess their sunscreens are really toxic for all the life and the rocks and stuff and the structures that are inside. So that's kind of sad. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to enjoy it with our eyes and not with our bodies.
But there are tons of cenotes in the area that we have visited before.
And we'll actually link in the description to all the other videos that we've made in the Yucatan area. When we went to Chichen Itza, we went to the ruins at Tulum that I mentioned. We had multiple days. We went to a bunch of cenotes. They were all in other areas outside of Merida. So yeah, check those out if you're in the area.
We just got done at the ruins and we were very hungry, so we found this little town just a 5-minute drive away and stumbled upon this amazing little local joint called El Buen Taco. And it looks like it's literally just in somebody's front yard. It looks like the mom is over there cooking and the daughter is plating stuff. And we got this amazing fried pork that they fried fresh over there. The smell is in the air. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
They were very surprised to see a couple gringos walk up.
I think so. I think this is a very small, out-of-the-way town. I'm assuming not many tourists make it down here, especially we're off the main square quite a ways.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah, but it's going to be muy auténtico, and I'm so excited.
That's a big truck.
Yeah, there's big trucks. Lots of big trucks in this town. Oh my word, this pork is perfect. It's fried so nice and crispy on the outside. It's so salty but so juicy on the inside there. Oh my God. Hope y'all enjoyed exploring Merida with us and eating Merida, more importantly. This is, I guess, one of our last days here in Mexico before we fly off to the Dominican Republic for a couple weeks, TBD. But we have tons of fun stuff coming up, y'all. We have some amazing places we're gonna stay at, some fun, maybe off-roading adventures.
Yeah, we'll see what we get into.
Yeah, it's just gonna be great. And then we'll be back to the RV before you know it. All right, goodbye, adventurers.
We'll see you on the road.